Camille Paglia is here. Her new book is called Vamps and Tramps. Here is the cover. We'll talk more about that later. She has exploded onto the American scene as part of the American cultural and academic and pop stardom scene. Her other earlier books included Sex, Art, and American Culture, also Sexual Personae. And I am pleased to have her here to talk about some of her ideas and some of the controversy that swirls around her, back for her third appearance, I think it is, on this broadcast. And I'm happy to have you here.
That's
welcome.
Great. Nice to see you again, Sean.
Good to see you. Now, you want to talk about some things, and I want to talk about some things. First of all, me first. Here is the Civilized Guy. Here is Esquire magazine for February 1995. And guess what? Inside, Tim Allen talks tough with Hurricane Camille, with Camille Paglia. This came about because Tim Allen was on this program, and I asked him about your book.
Yeah, that's right, because he
I'm asking about his book, talking about you.
His best-selling book, #1 bestseller, mentions me at the very start as a great writer, and then you brought it up me to him. He began talking about his influence by my writing, and then the Esquire editors sent me across the country.
Little thieves that they are.
Yes, sent me to meet Tim Allen in Hollywood, and he and I arm wrestled.
But you hung out perfectly together from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, Tim Allen and I are on the same wavelength. He's a real guy's guy. I like him, a real proletarian guy.
And you are?
Well, I'm the working class intellectual, is what I am, okay? I'm stopped in the street, okay, by ordinary people who say to me, like, give him hell, girl. You know, there's no other intellectual who has such recognition, face recognition as I do, with ordinary people, working people.
Okay, let me take a look at this tape. This is from Tim Allen on this broadcast talking about our guest, and we'll move on to other things. Here it is.
I just found her, I like her anger and intensity and then love of rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's very difficult not to like this person. And plus her wealth of, I mean, sexual persona and...
This is a PhD and a lot of education.
Good Lord, you read the book and you go, how did you, where do you have the time or the inclination to know that the 16th century art, the famous this guy, and it was the famous this guy, and this art is here, and this represents and Greeks, and she makes such great points that one of which it's hard to explain what that means, but the clergy used to celebrate young boys. And it's the same clergy that's now put in jail for that same.
Yes.
And I don't know what that means, and I forgot the whole run of that. She said, she made me laugh about men, urinating on fires as their way to conquer nature. And she says women can't do that without severely burning their loins. And she, in the middle of this thing about, it's not male bashing. She just says males traditionally have been these roles and women these roles, but it comes out that women have been a little smarter. They're a little bit more important. But she goes, on the other hand, she's typing her on her IBM laptop, only men would think of making this. You know, she's very much like me. She'll go at both species, and it seems like the women are winning as they usually do. But then she goes, on the other hand, men have this capacity. She says the George Washington Bridge. Only a man would think of sinking a piling into the riverbed to conquer the river. Yeah. Women would be dissatisfied with waving across, you know. Yeah. And sometimes it's true. She says that all art and culture are inventions of men. They did that. And I don't remember, I may be misquoting her, but she says, she's suggesting that maybe women would not have done that. That's not their realm. They don't, that's not in their interest level. They would have done something else. And some of it, I just find her fascinating. She's really taught me a lot.
Tim Allen talking about Camille Paglia, as I said, Esquire magazine, their conversation. But what you end up with is both of you believe women are stronger than men.
Yeah, women rule the universe. Women's sexual power. Yeah, see, the feminist picture of male oppression and female victimage is completely wrong. It's a reverse of the truth.
But you also believe that if the world had been left up to women, would they still be back? What was your expression?
In grass huts.
Civilization would still be in grass
huts.
Yes,
and what I'm saying.
Isn't that inconsistent?
No. I mean, the point is, most feminists feel that we should be back in communion with nature again. Okay, back on the plane. No, what I'm saying is that these whole huge constructions of the history of architecture and of the George Washington Bridge and technology and spaceships and so on, these are all these are created by male anxiety, flight from woman. Okay, and I mean, basically, like Tim Allen, my theories about sex are coming from everyday life, everyday observation and experience. I love the stand-up comedians, by the way. The stand-up comedians are closer to the truth about sex than the feminist establishment establishment is.
And what is it they're saying that's so close to the edge of truth?
Because they're working with an audience, and so they're looking for that spark of recognition that leads to the big laughter. Okay,
yes.
So that's why as things change, it's the comedians who are changing like chameleons. Okay, with the culture, right? Whereas the PC dinosaurs that I'm in conflict with in academe and in the literary establishment, in the feminist establishment, these people are like so passé. They're stuck with 25-year-old ideologies.
All right, we're going to get to a lot of this, but let me just make one other point about Tim Allen. You also acknowledge that there is going to be a war between the sexes, that somehow...
There is war between the sexes.
We're at war.
But by virtue of the fact that woman rules the reproductive matrix, okay? Every boy staggers out from the shadow of this mother goddess, in whose body he has dwelt for 9 months. It is in ancient mythology worldwide. It's truer. It has much more truth about this mystery, the uncanniness of that, than our kinds of feminist rhetoric today.
Here's what else you are in favor of. I'm just going to tick some of these off and get to the world of academia as well. You're in favor of the death penalty. Why?
Well, I am a libertarian. In the new book, Vamps and Tramps, contains this main essay, No Law in the Arena, which details my militant 60s radical libertarian philosophy, which is that government must stay out of the private realm, that government should stay exclusively in the public realm and should be minimal, should be very stripped down kind of a structure. And I'm saying, in effect, that I'm for unrestricted access to abortion, for legalization of drugs, even though I don't take drugs, for abolition of all sodomy laws, decriminalization of prostitution. Okay. At the same time, I'm saying that I see no inconsistency in being for the death penalty.
When you say legalize all drugs or liberalize all drugs?
Legalize drugs and consistent with alcohol regulation is what I'm saying. Okay?
All pornography is okay with you, including child pornography.
Well, what I'm saying is that that the public display of pornography can be reasonably restricted. That is, it should not intrude into the public realm. Okay, when you're coming out of a subway, a Christian person should not have to see, naked ladies. But those magazines should be available at the newsstand. Is what I'm saying. Okay, now the death penalty. I believe in the death penalty for extreme crimes, political assassination, serial rape, murder. Kill them, and that is my exterminate them. Now, I don't believe in rehabilitation. Okay, I believe in justice. I believe that the survivors should have a sense of justice as people are lynched in public. That's what I think.
Well, but how do you determine the appropriate punishment?
Well, I mean, I think the minute you start, I mean, it's so ridiculous. The way we sort of are victim-centered kind of criminology right now. Women are sort of in this perpetual
Because you ask a question does not mean that you're centered on, victim-centered. If you say, what is the appropriate punishment on behalf of the state, on behalf of the victims, people who've suffered from the crime, that's not to be victim-centered, is it?
Well, I mean, I think that our courts are tied up, in appeals that go on and on for years. I don't believe in life in prison. I believe in execution for serious crimes.
The swift and certainty of punishment you'd buy.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing, while we go through this, because some of this is in this book here, you want to lower the age of consent for children?
Yes, to 14. Right. I mean,
at 14, you could drive, drink, vote, do whatever you wanted to do, as well as get married. I'm talking and therefore, any kind of sexuality before at age 14 is okay with you. Statutory rape would not apply.
What I'm talking about in my work is that I think what's happened after the Industrial Revolution, okay, is that there is a too long a gap between puberty, when the body is sexually ready to mate, and the moment when you're considered an adult by society. And I think that our idea of adulthood has been distorted by ideas of bourgeois professional job readiness. Okay,
coming out of the industrial age.
Coming out of the industrial age. Okay, so what I'm calling for is a total rethinking of our definition of childhood and adulthood. I mean, Freud was 100 years ago talking about about infantile sexuality, that the infant is already erotic from the moment it comes out of the womb. 100 years later, we haven't absorbed it. It's very, very difficult for parents to absorb such a thought.
A lot to say about that as well. But I want to go down the list. Date rape, where you've been trying to tick off those areas in which you've become controversial.
I've won on that. It's very clear that I've totally.
How do we measure that you've won?
Oh my God, the number of books that are out there. Okay, Katie Royfi's book. I mean, the whole discourse in the media now has completely changed. Historians will know. Okay, in study. Okay, my seminal writings on rape in 1991. Okay, all my language, my terms, are everywhere. Any public discussion of it, any news magazine, any newspaper. My language, the poly vocabulary is everywhere. I've won on that one. Okay.
Well, not so fast there, Ms. Paglia. I'm not sure you won on that.
Oh, I have.
Basically, you say if a woman goes to a man's apartment after dinner and she is forced to have sex with him, A, she deserves it?
No. What I'm talking about is
or B, that he is not guilty of rape.
No, I'm talking about my total victory are in things like driving out from the scene. You never hear anymore. No always means no. Rape is a crime of violence, not of sex. I mean, all those things are gone now. And people's idea now that women should bear equal responsibility for their part on a date. But no, that idea, the Paglia idea, that's very extreme. I admit that's extreme. Here's my idea. After the sexual revolution, after my generation went through, okay,
yeah.
so when I was young in the early 60s, nice girls didn't, okay? You know, you were a tramp if you did. So it was easy for us. We could say no, and we still would get the boys' respect. After my generation went through, look what we've bequeathed to the girls of the 90s. It's terrible. Well, what it is now is that if a girl doesn't put out, she's 12 or 13 or 14, the guy will get it from the girl who's sitting next to her in class, okay? So it's terrible now. You don't know if you go on a date with somebody, is this girl religious? She's going to hold on to her virginity till marriage. Is she like someone who can be persuaded, or is she someone who just does it? Hey, party girl, she'll do it with 18 people. Okay, given the ambiguities now in the 90s, okay, what I'm saying is both parties must look at every day as a potential sexual encounter. I'm using the gay male attitude, okay? Gay men are adults about these things. For thousands of years they have been, okay? So what I'm saying is you negotiate the idea of your sexual readiness or accessibility from the first moment you meet. So here's what I'm saying. I know this is radical, I know. I'm saying if you meet a stranger and you consent to go to that stranger's apartment on the first night, you have consented to sex. This seems to be perfectly reasonable, okay? If we follow the Paglia principle, there'll be no more misunderstandings. And gay men, gay men don't in the middle of a sex act suddenly go, I've changed my mind. Or like the next day, they run to a grievance committee, slap him on the hand. He was, when gay men start to have sex, they continue having sex. What is this girl suddenly like? Oh, I was drunk. All right, if you're drunk and you kill 5 people on the road, okay, are you let off the hook? No, okay. I want no more special protections for women. Okay, no, I want equal responsibility. I want equality.
If you go to his apartment, by your logic, you deserve whatever you get.
Not you deserve. You're putting the loaded word in there. I'm saying that you communicate your readiness for sex by your body language, by what you're wearing.
Okay, suppose, let me set this scenario.
Yeah.
All right, you meet somebody, you meet a man that you're interested in, and you like him, and you have dinner with him, and you do you have a wonderful conversation, and he says, he takes you home, and you says, come on up for a glass of wine.
No,
good night. And then finish, and he says, come on up.
Yeah.
You say, come on.
You're playing Russian roulette. Okay, you're playing Russian roulette. Okay,
you're playing Russian.
You are because the point is, I think that by saying yes, okay, you're saying in effect, I'm considering sex with this person. Okay, now I don't think anyone has a right to put his or her hand on you without your consent. I'm a libertarian. Okay,
right.
but if you have a small woman and you're getting into the power of a large man, hey, the guy could be Ted Bundy, he could be Jeffrey Dahmer. Wake up, girl. Okay, life is filled with dangers. Okay, that's right. Gay men know this. Gay men understand the dangers of the street. They're cruising in parks, and you understand they get beat up, they get killed. Okay, for thousands of years this has been going on. I'm sick and tired of women having this overprotective kind of infantilized condition, okay, where it's sort of like, oh, that poor white middle-class girl, look what happened to her. I'm tired of that. We women of the 60s, okay, demanded equality of opportunity. I'm tired of talking about this, okay? I mean, I've won this argument, on the cultural stage. The date rape thing is dead as a doornail now, thanks to me, okay? And sexual harassment also, except for Miss Anita Hill, who keeps on popping up.
Well, what is it you don't like about Anita Hill?
Anita Hill is the biggest phony. Oh, please. 10 years later, okay, suddenly she comes on the scene. Oh, and this man is being.
Now, what are you saying
this man whom I don't think was particularly, fit necessarily, okay, for that nomination for the court. This man is 10 years later being asked to reconstruct lunchtime conversations. Are we in Stalinist Russia? Where are we here? Okay, that is totalitarian. The whole thing down the pike, and that sort of thing. Oh, and now, big new evidence. That crappy book by those Wall Street reporters. Now they found. Oh, wow, he had a Playboy centerfold up in the kitchen. Hang him! Oh, get out of here. It is embarrassing. They found no evidence. It is a scandal. The promotion of that book, of that new book, nominating for awards. What a cultural elite put up that thing is.
Well, I think American Spectator must be your Bible then.
Oh, no. I'm not a conservative. I am absolutely not, okay? I'm not on that side.
You sound exactly like David Brock on this.
Maybe on that issue. Okay, that's true. David Brock got a bed. Hey, come on. Yeah, come on. David Brock has been dissed. He's got a lot of solid material.
He's been dissed on this issue?
He's been dissed on yes, absolutely. Okay, David Brock deserves a better hearing than he got on this issue.
As far as you're concerned, Clarence Thomas didn't lie and Anita Hill did, or as far as you're concerned, It's irrelevant what happened 10 years ago. If there was a sexual harassment case to be made, it should have been made then.
I don't think she was
And you say to women, no matter how frightened you are by it, no matter how you considered you had no options, no matter what the fear that lived inside of you, it doesn't matter. If you don't have what it takes to go outside and leave the man, leave the job, then you deserve whatever happens to you is your problem.
That's not what I've said, because
why is that what you just said?
I lobbied for in 1986, before all this started, I lobbied for sexual harassment guidelines to be adopted at my university in Philadelphia. Moderate, I'm talking about quid pro quo. If someone says to you, you must sleep with me or not, you're not going to get promoted, that's sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Anyone telling an off-color joke to you, this is a democracy. Anyone has the right to use any language to you at all, at any time. You must develop the language to fight back against it, okay? All right, that's what I'm talking about.
And so what should happen to an employer who is fondling one of his employees?
No one has a right to put a hand on you. Okay, so if he is doing that, first of all, it's up to the woman the first time it happens to say, stop it. Terminate the fantasy. Now, like right now, Vamps and Tramps, I'm talking about this. I'm saying most women go along with it they go along for a year or two. Then suddenly they decide, hey, I've been sexually harassed. Lawsuit. Okay, now I'm saying from the first moment you arrive at a job, okay, or at school, or anywhere you go, okay, you are communicating what you will take. You set the borderlines. I'm saying I am empowering women. I'm saying get with it, girl. Okay, but I'm tired of talking about this.
Well, what is it you want to talk about?
All right, let's
what
talk.
What is it? I mean, all of this is in this book.
It's everything.
Everything I've mentioned so far is out of this book.
That's true. But what I'm saying is the universities.
So we don't want to sell this book. Forget this.
The universities are in a state of decay. That's also in Vamps and Tramps.
All right,
I'm talking about I have an open.
Because you're all upset about political correctness and multiculturalism and any violation of the canons. You're right down the line. You think all of that threatens what we know as a Western civilization education in our universities.
Not at all. I'm talking about knowledge. I'm talking about how the universities have abandoned what should be the center of the university, which is learning. Okay, all right. Now I'm on the record. My last book, Sex, Art, and American Culture, had a whole transcript of a multicultural course I taught at the university. Okay, with an Asian professor. Okay, I believe in an enlightened multiculturalism based on scholarship.
What's the difference in unenlightened and enlightened multiculturalism?
Okay, I'm totally opposed to any politicized agenda in the classroom, okay? I do not want this crappy melodrama being taught to our students that Western civilization is filled with evil patriarchs and out there are the wonderful people of color, okay?
Well, but I don't think anyone that I know of that believes well, just think of what you just said.
The new historicists, listen, you do not, Stephen Greenblatt, the new historicists, okay, who are, I mean, my God, every word out of their mouth is about the evil of Western culture. You don't know how bad
Western culture is evil, and
you don't know how bad
Asian
it is.
or African culture is unflawed.
These people in who have control of the university's humanities departments now do not believe in great art. Okay, they do not. They believe the dead white European males are just have been canonized.
Well, Skip Gates doesn't believe that.
Skip Gates? What are you talking about?
Henry Gates at Yale.
Skip Gates at Harvard. Okay. I mean, I don't notice him exactly talking about. I mean, his conversation. I mean, I respect him because he has really evolved in his thinking.
I know he has.
But his conversation is not exactly filled with references to Shakespeare, Sophocles, and Dante. Excuse me. Whereas my book, Sexual Personae, begins in ancient Egypt. Okay, and talks about what Western culture owes to Africa. Okay. All right. So I'm out there more as a scholar.
Let's talk about your persona.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
Madonna.
Yeah. I'm a great fan of Madonna ever since 1983-84. Okay, all right.
And why? What is it about her? I mean,
she's a brilliantly talented woman who unfortunately has made a lot of stupid mistakes. All right, and is now in a low point. But a lot of the great stars had appeared in box office poison. Okay,
but what is it you like about her? What is it that sort of resonates with you?
For about 7 years there, she really was the cutting edge of world music. She really was, and she was pushing sexual persona for women. She managed to re-sexualize the Anglo-American female persona. She brought in a kind of Mediterranean sensuality into it. She brought porn motifs into it. She brought Hollywood glamour back. Okay, every new woman pop star these days has been influenced by Madonna. Unfortunately, her influence is so profound that people say, "Hey, we don't need her anymore." But listen, I'm telling you, 20 years down the road, women in Japan, okay, rising in corporate or rising in the politics, okay, rising in those worlds, they're going to say Madonna inspired me
because she liberated me.
Oh, she has liberated women in Japan.
You also said the other day, or said in this book, I think, you talked about Rush Limbaugh, Ross Perot, Howard Stern. Who else?
Well, these are parallels to me.
They're parallels to you.
Yeah, they're crazed populist figures, okay, kind of lunatic figures who are great analysts, outsiders from the outside. We're comedians, okay?
And
we're all
who
comedians.
communicate ideas with entertainment. Is that your notion of them?
Yeah, and
all of you?
I think that, you know, that we just are, we have kind of a populist style. The establishment is so incestuous now on the East Coast, the literary establishment in New York and Washington and academia and so on, that you need figures like me from outside who are like this kind of crackpot. I'm a kind of Annie Oakley figure, I think, okay, kind of sharpshooter coming from the outside.
You don't want to live in New York City. You want to live in Philadelphia.
See, yes, exactly. And I don't even live in Philadelphia. I teach in Philadelphia. I live in the suburbs where I can listen to people in the shopping mall and find out what's going on the street and so on.
What are they telling you is going on?
You want to hear how ordinary people live. Now, see, when I first came on the scene 4 years ago, when I came on, like, you know, my friend Lauren Hutton said to me, move to New York. I said,
she'd know. Boy, she'd know.
No, but know what I'm saying? She said, move to New York. This is the center of the universe. And I say, no, you're dead as an intellectual the minute you move to New York.
Why is that?
Because you only see other people who agree with you, okay, and other famous people. I don't go to parties. I go maybe one party per year.
You know who lives in New York?
Who?
Rush Limbaugh.
Well, he's moved here now, okay, to be at the
He's been here since...
He's not invited to parties.
Of course he is.
Oh, no, come on. Well, now more. Now a little more.
I have seen Rush Limbaugh at Barbara Walters' house. Yeah. How's that?
Yeah, a little more now. In the last year, it's true. It's true. It's true in the last year. He has been, okay? He's sort of, people accept him on the scene now.
He has lunch at 21 or dinner at 21.
But there was a period there, up to fairly recently, when he was really ostracized. Come on. I know I'm telling the truth. You know, but here's the point. If people have been listening to Rush Limbaugh, not necessarily agreeing with him, they would have not been so shocked at the Republican sweep, which I've been predicting for years. People who were reading Paglia for the last few years are not surprised at all about what happened. I've been warning that progressive politics that I agree with has been spiritually empty for years, okay? We have spawned Newt Gingrich, okay? We must take responsibility for it.
Are you proud of it?
No, I'm not happy with it because we have a new kind of regime which is not at all sympathetic to art in the least. Now, I think,
and they don't seem to be very libertarian either.
No, I know. I know. All right, but who's to blame? Clinton, whom I look forward to voting for again. And
you're going to vote for Clinton again?
Yes, I like Clinton.
Is that because you like him or you like her?
I like him. No. She's made so many mistakes. Evita Peron, please, of the White House. Oh, give me a break. No,
you don't like her?
I liked her in the beginning. I loved her in the beginning, but she's made a lot of errors. Listen, Clinton, our side, the Democrats made. The Democrats made so many mistakes. Okay, if Clinton had made the changes he promised, okay, we wouldn't have this Republican.
Like what?
How could you?
Healthcare reform? Is that what you want as a libertarian? That kind of healthcare reform?
Number one, a stripping down of the bureaucracy. I want like literally 60% of the bureaucracy everywhere to be fired. This includes academia. All bureaucracies in academia or anywhere else spawn more bureaucracy, and so there has to be a period where you come through and have the guts to fire people.
Did you once say that you are a woman with the soul of a gay man?
Yeah.
Impersonating a woman.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Well, now you know, in the new book, I've got a memoir of 4 of the 6 gay men who've had a huge impact on me. 2 of them are dead from AIDS.
Right. And what is it about gay men that attracts you?
It's amazing. I don't get along with lesbians at all. I get along with straight women and gay men. I don't get along that well.
What about your love relationships? What are they with?
Well, all the women that I've been involved with have had bisexual experience. In my current flame, Allison Maddox, I've been with almost 2 years now. She's a bisexual experience also.
Are these monogamous relationships?
I believe in monogamy. I'm Italian. I'm very loyal. Oh yes. Oh absolutely. Oh my yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And what would you do if you discovered otherwise?
I discovered otherwise, I would cry.
Yeah.
I would kill the other person.
Right.
I would always protect my lover. I would have a vendetta against the guilty other party.
But give me the sense of, Madonna doesn't like for you to say this, and I've met her but never had her on this broadcast. I'm told, it may not be her feelings, that to say to her that she's a marketing genius. She doesn't like that because she wants to be thought of as a musician, and that somehow, if you say she's a marketing genius, it suggests that somehow her savvy about the market has compensated for her absence of musical talent, and also her absence for innovation and all of those kind of things. It's all marketing and advertising and some understanding of the selling of sexuality.
Right.
If you say, do you believe that about her, or do you believe that she's a genuine musical talent?
She's a very shrewd businesswoman, as was Joan Crawford. Okay, I think she's a major artist as well. Okay, she's a profound impact on popular music. She's never been honored with a Grammy. Shame on the Grammys for that. Okay.
She's also created a persona, the Madonna. You've created a persona. and you write about.
Yeah.
What is it has guided you in doing that?
Well,
what's it about?
First of all, you have to remember, okay, that I'm 47 years old. I was totally unknown until 5 years ago, okay? So people think that somehow that, you know, I mean, I wrote a book for like 20 years. I was writing that book. It was rejected by 7 New York houses, okay? You know, I'm the overnight success that took 20 years.
Okay, so what's the difference?
My students all know, okay, who have been in the classroom with me for 23 years, I'm the same person, okay, on television that I am in the classroom when I was not known. So when reporters ask my students...
If I'd known you 10 years ago,
I'm the same person.
Just the same.
I'm the same
Now,
person.
what is it you did at Bennington in 1980?
When I got fired?
Yes.
Oh, I got a fist fight at a college dance, and I got fired. Yeah.
With a woman or a man?
Was
a young male student or a female student? It was a student, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't one of my students, but it was a student, yeah.
You hit a student?
No, she took a punch at me, and then we were fighting, and it was like a big brawl. And police, it was every year was something there. I kicked a student in the rear end there. That was one scandal after
where
another.
does that come from?
I'm Italian, okay? I'm out of control. I'm an out of control person, okay? I don't do well in institutions. I really don't.
Yes,
okay?
I
know. I'm a true 60s person. I'm a
true
rebel.
60s person.
I'm a rebel against authority. I really
Now, that's
am.
what Rush Limbaugh and Newt Gingrich are running against.
Yeah,
the
I know.
60s.
Yeah, I know. Right, that's right. That's why you need me on the scene, okay, to show that what Rush Limbaugh and Newt Gingrich are talking about in the culture. They are diagnosing legitimate ills in the culture, but their prescription for our cure is wrong. Okay, what I'm saying in Vamps and Tramps, here is a radical 60s answer to those legitimate gripes about the direction of Western culture.
This from the New York Times.
Yes.
The only problem, whatever one may think of Ms. Paglia's problem of education reform, with world religions the core of her curriculum and mythology indistinguishable from Hollywood PR, one must admit that she's having more fun than most academics as she acts out, flies about, and outshouts the object of her ire. She positions herself with Ross Perot, Rush Limbaugh, and Howard Stern, who with our, quote, raging egomania and volatile comic persona turn towards the loopy, helping restore free speech in America. Comic, camp, outspoken, Paglia throws an absurdist shoe into the ponderous wheels of academia.
That's right.
You like that? Agree with all of that?
Absolutely. It's very important. For me, I think most people from the 60s would agree with me that the spirit of fun and play are that's crucial for any true creativity. Okay.
Now let me just. This continues. The only problem is that Ms. Paglia demands that we take her clowning seriously.
Oh, well, this is from one of the professors at the Ivy League, okay, whom I've kind of completely outflanked. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Richard L. Fisher, professor of English at the University of Pennsylvania.
Yes, she's part of the feminist establishment. But Allen Ginsberg, whom I remember to revere, is someone who would just, or Pablo Picasso, they would just sit on the floor and play with children, okay? I am like that, okay? For me, life is play.
You're 8 years old.
That is the source, of real ideas, okay? We have too many pompous fools, okay, in the world today. The great Zen masters, the great Hindu monks in old age play on the banks of the Ganges.
What is it you want to achieve?
Well, number one, I want to achieve massive reform in academia. That was the 60s mission, okay? I mean, so far we've failed because most of the 60s people did not go on in professional schools. I'm having a huge impact on the young. That's what people don't realize, okay?
Young meaning high school, young meaning college.
The college age. I am liberating people to say again about art, I love that. Okay, I admire that. That is great. Okay, and so on. I mean, the culture has gone down the tubes. Here's my mentor, Harold Bloom, and I agree on that. However, Harold is older than me, and he dismisses popular culture. I'm a product of the popular culture of the 60s. I love rock and roll. I love television. I love movies.
More than that, you want to be a shining star of popular culture. You love the lights, and you love the glare, and you love the megaphone. You what? Resort it?
No, I've been absorbed into it because that's my natural style. You see, the ease with which I've passed into popular culture comes from, I mean, you know, look, when I started out, people think that I sought the media. For 1 year, Sexual Personae sold and sold and sold from Yale Press. My picture was not on it. I was unknown. There was no publicity, okay?
Right.
The media discovered me. I wasn't out there marketing myself, okay? And they began calling me up and coming to see me, okay? And they said, hey, she's a hoot. Go see her, like that, okay?
That's right.
Whatever I have earned, as much as Madonna has, okay, and so forth. There's no big play. And I have, now, of course, you know, I'm associated with New York Public, you know,
so you want to be, come hook or crook, the most listened to what?
Well, the thing is, I want to liberate.
Characterize yourself. Self-characterize.
I want to liberate young people to find their own voices, as much like in the way Marshall McLuhan did for us in the 60s, or Allen Ginsberg, or Norman O'Brown.
Medium is the message.
Yes, that's right. I'm the successor to Marshall McLuhan. There's no doubt. Not since Marshall McLuhan has there been such an academic who can go back and forth between the worlds of scholarship and the world of media. Charlie, you are speechless.
No, I just want that to sink in.
Yes.
You know? What women are heroines for you?
Well, St. Teresa of Avila, the great Spanish saint who totally reformed the convents and fought with the bishops and the Pope.
Yeah.
Annie Oakley is a great heroine for me. The young Katharine Hepburn,
Yeah.
all right? Dorothy Parker, Mary McCarthy. I loved them.
Yeah. There's just some new letters from between Dorothy, Mary McCarthy and who was it?
Hannah Arendt.
Hannah Arendt,
Yes.
that's right. Fascinating.
Yeah.
Which sort of suggests to you if they'd had fax machines and telephones, we probably would not.
Right, there are no letters left
Yeah,
anymore.
exactly.
Yes, correct.
Now, what's the stance in this thing? I mean, you're trying to tell us something here about physical force, or
I am imitating Diana Rigg of the Avengers, who had a huge impact on me. And I have a knife strapped to my hip, you see, in
Yeah.
a Marine Corps jacket there from the Army-Navy store. And I'm saying this is the in-your-face feminism, the militant Amazon feminism of the late 60s that disappeared. It's become extinct, okay, as the Gloria Steinem brand of white bread, genteel, New York establishment feminism took over, okay? Remember Valerie Solanas who shot Andy Warhol? Okay,
Yes.
all right, Scum, Society for Cutting Up Men. I'm from that crackpot era of the late 60s, okay? And that's why I look so weird. There are none of us that are left anymore.
I don't think you look weird.
Oh, I'm
you
not
mean,
weird?
You mean where you?
I seem weird. No, I seem.
seem
they
weird.
say, what is she? Who is she? Why is she acting
All
like
right.
that?
Now
Why
look,
would
I've got some popular magazines
Okay.
here. I mean, this is Vanity Fair.
Yeah.
Interesting. Dominic Dung, L.A. and the O.J. Obsession, Murder and Gestad, The Enduring Draw of Evangeline Bruce, Rock and Roll, Bad Vibes at Music, Warner Music, Charles Barkley. Now, Madonna loves male basketball players. Yes? You?
football is my fanatical sport.
And in fact, you believe that women are deprived because they don't play football and
Yes.
understand football.
Yes, but I believe if you want to make your way through the hostile workplace, you have to study football, offense and defense. I love football. I love it. I've learned a lot about how to tackle people. I've learned how to strategize, how to plan. Okay, if I were to play, if you say what position would I play?
Have you ever played football before?
No, I'm too small. But I would like to play. Here are the two positions.
Yes, I thought so.
I would play either free safety, because I'm
Yeah.
like a free safety, roaming the field, following the ball, and whap, okay, out of nowhere. Or I would play tight end, okay, getting the ball over your shoulder and whap, knocking people down as you go over the goal line. Those are my positions.
But nothing like a quarterback for you. That's a little sissy
Oh,
for you.
quarterback, effete, please. I played catcher in softball
How about
in
Deion
school.
Sanders? You like him?
I love him.
Love
Oh, yes.
him.
Oh, prime time.
And
oh, yeah.
Primetime Sanders. And
Yeah.
who do you prefer in the Super Bowl?
Well, I'm
By the time this airs, will be
I'm
over.
sorry
so we'll
Dallas got excluded. I mean, because I love Dallas, and I have a mug of Dallas Cowboys. I have a pillow of Dallas Cowboys.
know. Here is Vanity Fair. This is supposed to be the sex symbol. I mean, tell me where sexuality is in America today. This is supposed to be the male sex symbol, I understand.
I know.
That's why they gave
To me, it's rather retro.
Brad Pitt is Hollywood's ultimate sex symbol. this
Very
article says.
retro. Very retro.
And this is Rolling Stone magazine, and this is, in fact, what's her name?
Isn't it Demi imitating Vanessa Redgrave?
Demi Moore imitation. Vanessa Redgrave.
She can't hold a candle to Vanessa Redgrave's great photograph.
You're happy today?
I'm happy today.
Yes.
I won't be happy until I manage to totally reform academia. It'll take another 20 years.
How about in your social and
Well, my
personal
love life is flowering, absolutely flowering. Hard to believe.
You met this
Yes,
young lady
Alpha Maddox.
2 years ago?
Yes, Polly in love. Yes, absolutely.
Polly in Love.
I know, hard to believe, isn't it?
Is that going to be the next book, Polly in Love? Great to have you back.
All right, great to be here, Charlie.
Thank you.
Okay.
We thank you for watching us and joining us this evening. Look forward to seeing you next time. See you then.